Hello everybody, today is going to be my second interview. As you can see, it's going to be with Chiara Tomasetti, who played for Northern Arizona University, and I'm going to have her coming into our call now. Just waiting for her. Chiara. There. I just added Chiara, so I'm just waiting for her to join me in my call. And I think it's connecting. There she is. There you go.
Hey.
Now I just gonna change my camera, and there I am. Perfect. So first thing, technical stuff, everything solved. Chiara, thank you so much for joining me on this for my second interview of my series about talking about college sports and college tennis, but not only tennis, like other sports as well. Yesterday, I talked to Mark and his brother, who basically, Mark already finished his 4 years, similar situation like you, and his brother is about to go to play college tennis. So thank you so much, Chiara, for coming. Just to give a short introduction from my end about Chiara, I've placed Chiara 4 years ago, I think it is.
Yeah.
And looking at your experience, it has been unbelievable. I think you're the current number 45 at the ITA NCAA Division I college rankings. You played for Northern Arizona University. It's a great school, and you will share some information about that later for sure. And I saw that you have a 86.4 winning rate of all your single matches throughout your whole career. So something I want to congratulate you about. That is absolutely impressive. Well done. And I could go on and on and on because your career has been absolutely spectacular in the US as a college tennis player. But why don't you share some information about yourself? Like, how was your career in the US? How did you actually started playing college tennis, and how did you find out about it?
Yeah, so you pretty much introduced myself already, I think. So I'm currently a senior at NAU. I came to college, 4 years ago. I don't know, like 4 years ago, I think around this time or a little earlier, I decided to go to the States, play college tennis. There was, I remember it being like a time where I was like super nervous and didn't really know what to expect. And now 4 years later, I know so much more about college tennis, I think. NAU has been an incredible school. I've met so many people, and it's super nice because I still stay in contact with them the whole time. I've had amazing coaches who taught me a lot on the court, and then again, like all the stuff who taught me so much off the court too. So yeah, my experience was just super nice, playing 4 years for school with a different team pretty much every year. So yeah, I've met so many people, but again, competing in a team is super nice. I think that's something incredible in the States. But yeah, overall, just an amazing experience for me, and maybe I'll continue my career in the States. So who knows?
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that later. As a senior, and I talked to Mark about this as well, because Mark is playing for an NAA school, a smaller school. You're playing for Northern Arizona, which is NCAA Division I. But both associations basically offered you another year for the senior because your season got canceled at in the middle of the season. We're going to talk about that for sure as well. But let's go back to the beginning. So how did you find out about college tennis? Like, so what was because I know there are other players around who are considering playing college tennis. What was one of the factors for you to say, okay, I think college tennis is the right path for me, and what was the motivator for you to do that?
So for me, one aspect was for sure that my brother was in the States. He played for NAU as well 1 year, and I actually I visited him during his his year at NAU. So I went there with my parents. So it was nice to see just how he was practicing there, what his life was pretty much. So I kind of got a little insight there, which was nice, obviously. And then, well, at this time, not that many people went to the States, I feel like. But yeah, I knew from a couple of people that they had an amazing experience over there. And for me, it was just, I was thinking about where and what to study pretty much, and yeah, what to do with my life after high school. So yeah, it was just okay. I can go to the States where I can combine tennis and my education, which was for sure one of the key aspects, I think, where I decided to go to the States, and yeah, so that was pretty much the story. But yeah, for sure, my brother told me so much about it, and he just loved it there too.
So when you, and that's great to hear, because like I think a lot of international tennis players who have never been to the States, right? And they just hear about college tennis. So share your experience when you came to visit your brother for the first time, about like when you saw the university, when you saw the campus, when you saw the tennis facilities, when you saw the gyms, and like seeing the whole college life. Was that something you actually considered, like this is possible? Is this something you had in Germany as your base to have this opportunities to practice? Why don't you share a little bit about your experience when you actually visited for the first time?
Yeah, so I remember coming to the campus and just like being super overwhelmed, I think. Yeah, so for sure I didn't have like such a facility or anything here back at home, so it was like super different. But yeah, I remember being super overwhelmed by the campus, by the facility for sure, and like the training room and everything. It just seemed so professional to me, with the staff around and like all the yeah, just everyone taking care of the team, and like so many people involved in this whole process, like training, after training, before training. Weight room was overwhelming too. Just, yeah, again, I think just so professional, and I feel like there was something that just got me so excited, I think. So yeah, it was just super nice to see. And again, like I remember at NAU, I think, was it right before I came to NIU? I think right before my freshman year, they built a new facility. So we were pretty much the first ones to hit in the facility, and then we got new outdoor courts too. So yeah, everything was brand new, and yeah, it just seemed so professional to me, and so super nice.
That's awesome. So you had the new facility included indoor courts and outdoor courts, and how many courts does the facility have?
So yeah, at this point, so in the beginning, it was only the indoor facility with 6 courts, and then during my second semester maybe or something, they built the outdoor courts, which were 6 courts as well. So.
Awesome. And were there people, is it like some standing for like spectators as well, so that people can come and watch? Because I mean, that's something I also feel like, which is not very usual for Germany, is that, you know, when you play a college match or you play a team match, that people, students, some professors, and some other people who are like fan of Northern Arizona are coming out to the games. But why don't you share that from your first-hand experience as well a little bit?
Yeah, so that was just super nice, because yeah, I remember especially also my professors coming to my matches, and then just talking to me about it after, like after the match then or something. They were like, yeah, oh, we saw you like playing and whatever. It's such an amazing experience. But yeah, it's just super nice when there's a little crowd just cheering for you. And yeah, that's something, and especially that's, I think, an important factor about college tennis, because I know, or my only experience was just here in Germany, where everything is usually like super quiet, and people clap here and there, but like don't really get involved. But in the States, it's just amazing how the crowd gets involved into the matches, and yeah, it just motivates so much being on the court, seeing there's a crowd behind me and cheering for me.
That's funny that you say that, because there was something Mark from the interview yesterday shared with me and everyone as well, that it's more emotional. It's more like the team spirit. Like, it's not an individual sport. Yes, tennis is an individual sport, but the team is more in the, you know, is an advantage. And it's like you're playing for the team, and the team spirit is fantastic. So glad you're mentioning that too. Something I would like to go a little bit more in depth as well is like, yes, we talk about tennis and we talk about the development and the facilities and everything, but how is it to be a student athlete? Because yes, you play tennis, but it's also important to, you know, study, get your degree. First and foremost, what was your degree? What did you study? And And how was your regular life? Like if you can share like a daily routine of yours when you were in season.
Yeah, so my major was or is still, because I'm still in the last 2 weeks of my bachelor's degree right now, is business management. And so yeah, a typical day is going to weights early in the morning. So our time was usually 6:30 a.m. I think, and then usually I had some time, or like at least in my senior year, I had some time to go back after weights in the morning, which was nice. Then I had a little breakfast. Then I went to school. I tried to get an individual practice in the morning sometime during my classes, if that was possible. Then I had lunch, and then we had team practice in the afternoon, usually 2.5 hours. And then I either went like to another class late in the afternoon, or I went home and tried to study a bit, get my homework done, and then get dinner. And then it was pretty much it. Like during the week, yeah, I was hanging out with my roommates and everything, but that was a typical day. And then I was super tired late at night, so kind of tried to get to bed quite early, so everything
to be ready for the next day.
To be ready for the next day. Yeah, so.
Perfect. Tell me a little bit about the classes. So how is it? Because I think, I mean, Germany is, and Europe in general is very different to what you get in the US. So how are the classes structured? Like in your last semester, if you can share, like what kind of classes did you take on the one hand side, and then how the class is structured in the sense of like, is it a lot of projects? Do you take tests and things like that?
So first of all, I would say it's, I think, well, in my classes, we were only like 30 people usually in one classroom. So that was super nice. So it was pretty much how it was in high school, just like 30 people in one room and in one class. And then, yeah, we usually had PowerPoints where the professors lectured then, but especially at the very end, I had like so many team projects or individual projects. And so yeah, that was pretty much how the classes were structured at the end.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have also like and I want to just say something. I mean, it seems like that Northern Arizona University is a small school when you say you have only 30 students in a classroom, but I mean it's actually quite a larger school, right? I think it has around 14. I don't know how many students exactly, but it has probably more than 15,000 students.
I think we have about like 25.
Wow, even 25,000. So look at that. So, you know, I just want to get, you know, a relation that they take, even though it's a bigger school, they're making sure that you have a personalized attention, that you have the personal contact to the professors. How do you feel like the professors were? Were they like really helpful? Were they open? Like, were you able to access them all the time? Was your experience with the professors?
Honestly, in all my 4 years, I was always able to talk to my professors, especially well, I tried to keep a good relationship with them as well, just because I had to let them know about like me leaving every other weekend pretty much, and like missing school here and there. But yeah, they were super open minded about it, and they were like super understanding, I think, as well. And they whenever I don't know, like I got in a conflict or time conflict, whatever, with like yeah, an exam or whatever with my matches, then they usually gave me some more time to study or take it at another time or something. So honestly, in all my 4 years, everyone was super understanding, which was so nice. And I didn't expect that, but yeah, and I've heard some other stories too, but me personally, I only made good experience. So
oh, that's important to hear, and I think it's important for the athletic department too. Did you have somebody in the athletic department, just from the sports department side, somebody being responsible for you for your academics as well?
Yeah. So especially in the beginning, my freshman year, I remember we had like weekly meetings usually with one person from the athletic department, just going over some stuff and trying to get in a rhythm there with academics and sport at the same time. So yeah, there was, especially again in the beginning, I remember, I mean, like last year, my senior year, I didn't have to talk to anybody about it anymore, because I pretty much knew what to do, and my grades were okay, so that was not an issue. But yeah, in the beginning for sure. And like they gave they gave me like so many tips and tricks to manage my time, which is a huge factor. So yeah, there was always somebody to talk to, and always somebody that could help.
I think especially in the beginning, in the transition when you come from Germany or from any European country to the US and get into this college system, and you have the practice sessions, you have individual practice, you have gym sessions. I think it's very important, and it's very nice to hear that you had that support, just to make sure that you can, you know, get used to the new environment and you know, be successful straight away.
Exactly, and again, like the system is so different from Germany, so that's why it was super important, especially in the beginning, to get into a rhythm. But once you were in a rhythm, I feel like there was no help needed. But again, like whenever I needed help, I could always talk to somebody. So.
That's fantastic. And I want to mention here, if any of the viewers have any questions at any time for Chiara or myself, please feel free. We're gonna try our best to answer those questions at any time. That's great. So we have a little bit more about the academic field. You finish your bachelor degree, as you said, in business management in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Fingers crossed. I wish you good luck for your final exams on that part. But tell me a little bit about, before we go into tennis a little bit more in depth, tell me about the student life. So how is the student life? Because I know that there's not only tennis on campus. I think you are in Northern Arizona, you have football, there's basketball, there are many other sports. Like when you have free time, when you were not playing tennis, when you didn't study and things were going on, what was the activities you were doing? And how, can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Flagstaff, first of all, we're like pretty much on a hill there. So like there was like super nice nature around it, which was nice. So yeah, we actually went on a hike a couple of times. So yeah, that was one thing. But then obviously, like whenever football was playing or basketball or whatever other sport, like we tried to support them as much as we could. But again, like to be honest, especially at the very end, like we were traveling so much in spring season anyways, so many times, and then we were sometimes even practicing on Saturday too. So I don't know, I remember being like super tired at the weekend sometimes, but we tried to get involved as much as we could into like other sports. And then again, like there were some events on campus which we tried to join sometimes. So of course there are some other activities other than playing tennis too.
Perfect. And I think, I don't know how exactly how it's in Northern Arizona, but I think Northern Arizona does have, you do have football over there, right?
Yeah, we do.
So share your experience from a football game, American football game in college already, because I think that's something, especially in Europe, it's impossible to describe how big already college football in the US is.
Yeah, well, that's, again, like college football is just like a sport that you don't really know from here. But yeah, like it's super nice how the atmosphere is when there are football games, and like it's pretty much a little, especially like with the tailgate before as well, like it's a party, like it's not. And again, like I remember, especially in the beginning, I didn't really know the rules or anything, but I remember still like going and just
supporting.
Yeah.
How many students fit in your stadium and like spectators? Do you know?
I don't even know. I have no idea, to be honest.
No idea?
It was not the biggest stadium, and like especially since the weather in Flagstaff is usually cold. It's even an
indoors,
indoor
right?
stadium.
Yes,
it's an indoor stadium. But I have no idea how many people fit in there, to be honest.
Awesome. It's no problem. It's great. So let's come back to two things. On the one hand side, how in the sense of like getting familiarized with other athletes, because every school has their own mascot, which I can't wait to hear about your mascot a little bit when you talk about it. But do you feel like you became a big family, like you were involving with other athletes as well? You got to know other athletes from different sports and things like that. Do you think that's something you would consider as part of the college atmosphere and the college experience too?
Yeah, for sure. So again, and especially like we've had our little like common areas pretty much, like the athletic department. We had like a common like study area, for example, where like all the sports came together, so you could get to know other other people or other students from other sports as well, which was nice. And then again, like in the union where especially like as a freshman and sophomore, where you just go and like eat together and everything. So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you get involved with other sports, with other athletes, and then again, like just trying to get involved as much as possible, and join other games, join other matches, and then yeah, just go from there.
Great. And tell me
Yeah.
about your mascot a little bit. So what was your mascot?
It's the lumberjack, and yeah, I don't know. It's all around campus. I feel like everywhere, all the time. It fits perfectly to Flagstaff, just because we're in the mountains and just wood everywhere. We're right there in the forest, I feel like. So yeah, the lumberjack is just like everywhere. Just Louis the lumberjack is just at every game. I feel like on the football field the whole time, and yeah, we have a big statue as well close to the Union Central campus. So yeah.
Great. So now I'm gonna go a little bit more into the tennis scene, okay? So I would love for you to explain a little bit more your development, because before you came to college, what was kind of your ranking in Germany? What was your ITF ranking, even if you had an ITF ranking, just for other, tennis players to understand the level? And then how would you describe your development in college in the sense of the last 4 years? Because, and that leads us a little bit also to the question, what are your next steps? What are your next goals? What you're trying to do and things like that?
Yeah, so actually before I came to college, I think my German national ranking was around like 380. So yeah, I don't know. And but again, since then I've made a huge progress, I think. And so my current national ranking is 50 actually. So
I saw that. Congratulations. And you have to say here, it's very important for everyone to know, you accomplished the ranking of 50 in Germany within a time of 3 months, because in the summer, your school is normally going, when it's not coronavirus time, you're coming back normally, I would say in mid-May. Yeah. And then you go back to the US in mid-August and end of August, right? So you have a time period of 3 months. And that's a huge accomplishment. So congratulations on that.
Thanks. And again, even within these 3 months, I tried to take a break too. So it was actually for like around like 2 months. I played a couple of tournaments. But yeah, so my ranking was 380 before I came to college. But then what was different in college was just the regular practice on a daily basis. Just practice. With a good team, with good teammates who can challenge me on a daily basis, and then just getting workouts in the weight room, that was new to me as well. So getting stronger, getting fitter like every day, which helped me as well. And then just the coaching staff working with me whenever I wanted, pretty much. So whenever I felt like, okay, I had some spare time, or whenever I was like, okay, I gotta prepare for a specific tournament or whatever, like they always spend so much time on the court with me. So I think, again, just the regular practice just helped me so much with my development.
Awesome. And I think that's great. And, I get often the question when I talk to especially very high talented players, that they are joining a team, and how is the individual practice? And you mentioned that earlier, that yes, there are team practices, but there are still individual practices. So you have the combination of both, so that on the one hand side, you get challenged, as you mentioned, from your teammates on a very high level. But on the other hand, you also have individual practices where you can work individually on your serve, on your forehand, on strokes, on technique, or on strategic things, right?
Yeah, and I feel like, again, like the coaches are super, obviously they want you to improve. So they're super happy if you're willing to put in work. So whenever I was asking them, they were like super happy, and they were like, yeah, for sure, let's get on the court, let's schedule a time. So I'm super willing to help and coach every time. Like whenever they have free time, I have free time. I stepped on the court with them and just like practiced. So
that's fantastic. And how would you say is the fitness training as well? Is it like very professional? Is it like tailored to you, and that you can really develop there as well?
Well, yeah. So again, like we did 3 times a week. We did weights training early in the morning, and we had a program for the whole team, which was like a 4-week program and whatever. But then at the same time, like we were talking to the strength coach, and we kind of told them, okay, like something might be hurting or kind of feel like uncomfortable with a certain exercise or whatever. And then the strength coach came up with an individual program as well, so which was pretty much injury prevention then usually, which helped too. And then the communication between athletic trainer and the strength coach, that was super good too. So whenever something was hurting, they could talk to the strength, the athletic trainer could talk to the strength coach. So the communication there was good, so that the strength coach knew whenever we couldn't like do an exercise or whatever, or maybe rest one day, we could do that as well, which was very good, I think, just so we don't get injured easily. So yeah, but again, that was super professional too. They always came up with a 4-week plan, so we kind of knew what to expect the 4 weeks. And then obviously, let's say in fall season we were lifting pretty heavy, and then in spring season, in season, yeah, we kind of stepped back there and did more like body weight stuff and everything, and tried not to lift as heavy, just so we were ready for the season then. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
That's great. And I just got a question here from Lottie, asking the question about, do coaches pay more attention to the LK or your video? And I think I can answer that question for Lottie in that sense.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of both, in the sense of like, the first thing, of course, they're going to check out your video. It's very important, you know, about your technique, what your game style is. And the secondly, of course, they like to see results. So I think a combination of both is very important. But definitely make sure that, you know, try to play as many tournaments if it's not COVID-19 time as possible, but also have the opportunity to put a really good video out there. The video is important. What we suggest from our end and from my end, on the one hand side, is a highlight video where you demonstrate your technique, where you demonstrate who you are, have a personal introduction to it. I would probably remember yours back in the days, Chiara.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one hand side. And then the other hand side, what I always recommend, because that's something coaches really enjoy seeing, is a match video, which is uncut. It's like a set, play to 6, see how you construct points, where your mistakes, what you can improve. So that's something coaches are looking for as well.
From my side, I even think the video is super important, because like, especially when I got to the States, coaches pick a player that they see they can develop or bring to the next step or whatever. So I feel like they don't, I mean, obviously, yeah, they look at the results, but again, like, they try to get someone, let's say, with a good technique or whatever, so they see, okay, we can develop that player and yeah, get it to the next level. So that's important.
And I think you're the perfect example, aren't you?
Oh, that's what you said. So
yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I followed you for the last 4 years, so I can definitely say that. So on a and you prove it with your results. So you came over to the US with around 380 in Germany, around that area. I think it was around the 300s, and then now you're top 50 in Germany on the women's side. So I think you have shown that and proven that with your own results over here. On the other note, before I'm going to ask you about more tennis, we were on the fitness level. How about, because that's something I think the US takes great care as well, how was the nutrition? How was the food NAU provided for the athletes and for the students?
So first of all, especially at the end, I've had a few coaches over my 4 years at college. So, but yeah, especially at the end, our coaches, when we were traveling, we only went to good restaurants. We always had good food. They were taking care of us. Like, every single time we had a match, whether it's a home match or away match, we always had snacks, and usually super healthy. So that was nice. And then, like, I don't even know, but like, let's say twice a semester, we had a little workshop where someone was explaining some basic things about nutrition to us. So that was super helpful too, I think. So yeah, they provided us with information, and then we could learn from that, and yeah, just, I don't know, use that information.
Perfect.
So
That's
that was
great
good.
because I think it's because if you look at tennis and becoming a really good tennis player, I think it's not only the tennis aspect, it's the whole, you know, the whole environment about
Yeah.
like sports psychology, nutrition, fitness, having the right environment, having the right coaches. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to
Talking
hear that.
about psychologists too. We had a sports psychologist too who came to our team practice once a week, I think. And then whenever we wanted to schedule a time with her, we could always go up and talk to her and like go through some stuff. And so that was super helpful too. So yeah, just and that's super nice at college. It's just there's so many resources you can use, whether it's psychologists, whether it's nutrition, whether it is academically, whatever. You can use all the resources and yeah, just get the help wherever you need it. So
Great.
that's
That's good to hear. So now to come to the tennis perspective of things again, there is a fall semester and there's a spring semester. I would love for you to describe the difference between the two. And then also, I know that you had a very good run. I think it was in the fall semester where you won the regionals and you made it to the nationals. So if you can share a little bit that experience from your end and share the explain the difference between the two semesters, that would be great.
So yeah, there's honestly there's a huge difference. So in fall it's a little more individual. So obviously you go with your team, you go to tournaments, but it is more like, yeah, you go to the tournament and obviously you warm up together and everything, but then you're competing for yourself pretty much. Yeah, you're representing the school and everything, but yeah, you compete in a let's say regular draw with where it's just one-on-one. So that's how the fall season works. And then you can try to, yeah, let's say for me, when I won regionals, I could qualify for nationals, for example, or whenever you play other tournaments or get some kind of rewards or whatever. So for example, when you're the best player of the conference as well, or have a specific ranking nationally, you can qualify for more tournaments, and that's super nice too then. So you, especially in my last fall, I actually traveled to so many tournaments at the end. So I was like not that much in school, to be honest. But yeah, usually in fall, you're a little more at home and you have some weekends off too, which is nice. And then in spring season, you're with your team the whole time. So that's super nice. And then you just get to travel to all the places within your conference, outside of conference, and then just compete as a team next to each other, play doubles. So yeah, that's super nice. But yeah, in spring season, you're pretty much not in school. You're gone the whole time. You're traveling a lot. And just, I feel like, especially in spring season, you're with your team 24/7. You spend like every minute with them. So yeah.
Let me ask you about the fall, because I'm getting this question a lot of times from very high level players, like who have already very high ITFs or good international German rankings or Austrian rankings, where they're from, right? Are you able to play ITF tournaments during the fall?
So for me, I actually did not play ITF tournaments, but I know for at a lot of schools, and you need to talk to the coaches before, but it's especially the bigger coaches, but yeah, especially the bigger schools, but even like all the smaller schools, usually you can play ITFs too, so that's super nice. But even at the college tournaments, it's like on some of the tournaments, it's such a high level. When you go to nationals, it's unbelievable. And then it's so super professional too. Then you get gifts in the beginning, like everything is organized super super nicely. You have like a welcome dinner, whatever. So yeah, it's super professional too.
That's great. And then this is like the last question about that end of my part. You played the nationals. You qualified for the nationals. So if you would compare this level from tennis to the professional level, do you feel like there's a big difference, or do you feel like this is really the stepping stone to become professional? If you establish yourself in college tennis and you become like a top player in the United States, does that give you the opportunity to really take the next step and try to become professional?
So to be honest, that's a super tough question. So I always try to compare myself with the ITF level or whatever. I think it's super tough to say, because obviously like college tennis is a little different than I think. It's super nice, and especially it's a huge step in that direction, because you feel like it's super professional and it's organized super nice. But yeah, the competition is super nice, and you get to play so many matches, usually back to back. And like, I know so many tournaments you play like 2-3 matches a day, and then like 3-4 days after each other. So you get in so many matches and experience so many things. And like, I know like you usually like a little thing in college tennis is cheating maybe. So I don't know, I faced so much adversity, I think, like so many different situations, which I think prepared me so much mentally, which is such a big part, I think. But yeah, tennis level wise, I think it's so tough to compare with the ITF level. So I'm not sure about that.
Great, perfect. I mean, that's your personal opinion. I really appreciate that. That's important to hear as well. I mean, it shows already a little bit that you played 2 months in Germany. You're 15 in Germany, and you're 45 in the US right now in the ITF ranking. So, I mean, I know that a bunch of the top players from college, like all the top ranked players, they're trying to go professional. In Germany right now, we have Stephanie Wagner and Romy Klotzer who are trying that, or they are doing, they're taking that step. And I think that's something you are considering right now as well, right? What are your plans now after finishing up your degree in the next 2 weeks? And getting back actually your season, one more season. What are your considerations here?
Yeah, so that's another tough question. Thanks for that. No, but yeah, so my plan was going on the tour. I've had actually pretty much set up everything with a coach, with who could travel with me, train with me here and everything. So that was my plan A, which is still kind of my plan A, I think. But yeah, at the same time, obviously we got the year of eligibility back, which is super nice. So now I'm considering going back to the States for another year and just experience college tennis another year, just because, yeah, we finished the season in the middle of our spring semester, which was obviously not what I wanted, and that's not how I wanted to end my college career. So that's why I'm considering going back right now. Yeah. So
awesome. I wish you definitely good luck with that. And now I'm actually coming to my last question. Reflecting the 4 years back of college tennis, right? If you go 4 years back, would you take that decision again and would experience those 4 years?
Yeah, for sure. So again, like, it's just super good to combine your education with tennis. It's super nice. It's super professional, but at the same time you get your education in. So I would always do it again. And like, you get I don't know, I feel like during these 4 years I've experienced so much, not just on the court, also off the court. I've met so many people from different countries, different cultures, which I'm like still friends with, even like from my freshman year or whatever. So that's just super nice to get, I don't know, just experience abroad. And yeah, tennis wise, but also off the court, it's just super nice to meet so many different people, I think. Yeah,
this is fantastic. So so basically you would say I would do the 4 years again, and you recommend any other athlete who wants to play college sports to do that step and take that step in the future. Chiara, all I can say is thank you very, very much for your time. It was such a pleasure to have the interview with you. I wish you the best of luck for your upcoming final exams, and then your, I guess, virtual graduation.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I honestly don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm really curious what they're gonna do. But yeah, I get all the emails that the graduation is gonna be virtual. So we'll see how that goes.
Chiara, good luck with everything. Thank you so much. Keep me posted on your next steps, and stay healthy and say hi to your family. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.